Have you ever wondered how to write music in the style of Disasterpeace soundtracks? Let's talk about it. Hey guys, this is Stephen Malin, music composer, educator, and arranger, helping you to elevate your story. Today we're going to be talking about Disasterpeace, also known as Rich Vreeland, and he is a video game composer most known for the soundtracks of FEZ and Hyper Light Drifter. Now in both of these soundtracks, and in really all of his writing, there are a few little techniques that he uses in all of his sounds to create really intense, atmospheric, and emotional music. So we're going to take the next few minutes, we're going to learn and dive into how you can do this using hardware, but the same elements apply even if you were to use a DAW with software. So let's dive in. I'm here on a Nord Stage 2. It's really nice to do this live because it gives you more flexibility. And so the nice thing about having a Nord is we have a bunch of effects over here, most notably chorus, we have reverb, and we have delay. And what we can do is we can mix and match these things while picking multiple patches and blending them together. And we can use our mod wheel over here and our pitch bend wheel to morph these sounds on the fly, which just gives you a lot more flexibility faster. You don't have to have a Nord to do this, you can do this within your DAW, but you have to set it up properly using plugins and recording multiple channels at the same time. A little bit more complicated to do it that way, but if you have the opportunity to play on a Nord or really any other keyboard that can hold multiple channels, that's going to be the really ultimate way of doing this quickly. So here we go. So the first thing I do is we need to find some sort of patch that allows us to play very ambient, thick, low chords. So I like to choose some kind of organ type sound. Now right out of the gate, this is just a basic synth. But we have our attack, decay, and release knobs over here. So I'm going to take my attack, I'm going to roll this really high so it's more like a pad sound. Because we don't really want the thick, harsh attack. We want to let it kind of fade in a little bit. Let's get our decay to be at 100%, and then release, we want it to be pretty short so that when we let go, it has a little bit of resonance. So I put mine on 224 milliseconds. And then we also want to have some reverb. I'm going to turn that on. On the Nord, we have different options. I'm going to choose like a hall type reverb and put it about 5 seconds of reverb. It has a little bit of time to morph. And reverb is always the last step. So if you're using a DAW, you can put this as the last item in your chain order. And before that, what we want to have is, you'll notice over here we have our different EQs. So basically it's a low pass filter. So what we do is use our frequency knob here. We can actually go up and down while holding. Really nice. And what's cool about the Nord is we can actually assign that parameter to the mod wheel. Again, you can do this within Logic or Pro Tools or any other DAW. It just takes a few extra steps. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the mod wheel, we're going to hold wheel, and we're going to twist the frequency, first of all the way down while the mod wheel is down, then hold it to go all the way up. What we should have here, there we go. As we go up and down with the mod wheel, notice the frequency now goes up and down. That's what we want. So that way, if I'm playing, you have control. Cool. And then on top of that, twist them up just a little bit. Not completely quiet when we go to the bottom. I also want to add over here, let's add a chorus. And you'll notice we have 3 options: organ, piano, or synth. You can use your shift to cycle between those. I'm going to go to synth, and then I'm going to just choose any random amount of rate, tempo, and amount so that it has a little bit of wobbliness, if you will. You can hear the difference. It'd be super extreme. just kind of oscillate back and forth a little bit. And then I'm also going to go to my delay. I'm going to turn that on for the synth as well. A little bit. I'll do a slower tempo by tapping it in. Kind of hear it bounce around there. And then with that, let's leave that alone for a second. Let's go over to slot B so we can have a second sound. Now with this one, I want to pick a really harsh synth. Something that's not mellow, something that's super bright. And then let's do some of the same steps here. I'm going to go over to my chorus. I'm going to add a little bit there. What I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to set the amount knob to the mod wheel this time. There. At the top, we're going to have 100% chorus. And then I'll do the same thing with my delay. I'm going to make the amount a part of the mod wheel. It's a very useful feature. Way it's kind of fading in and out, doing lots of cool things. And you hear with the added chorus and the delay, it totally changes how it interacts with the reverb, which I find to be really fascinating. It gives us a lot of cool effects. And then on top of that, I also want to assign my frequency sweep. Do something even more extreme. With this guy, we're going to assign him to the mod wheel. We're going to pull the attack back a lot. It's not. There we go. I like that a lot. I am going to turn down the delay. It seems to be really extreme. Just a little bit. So I'm going to make the max delay. I'm going to pull him down just a hair. There we go. That way it's not, swimming. Well, okay, now for the fun stuff. So now that we've kind of set up the sounds, again, you can do this within your DAW. I'm going to actually take slot A and B, tap them both so that I can have both playing at the same time. Now for the fun stuff. So some basic music theory behind the chords that Disasterpeace usually uses within his music, which is very evocative. He tends to avoid traditional tonic chords, which would be like in a C major, 1, 3, 5, your C. He kind of avoids those and instead does really big chords. And he'll do a lot of 2 chords, a lot of ninths, a lot of sevenths. He basically is taking, instead of a 1, 3, 5, he will take a 1, 2, 5, and then maybe add a 2 on top of that, thus a 9, maybe even a 7th. He likes to do a lot of modulating, so you might take that exact same chord and then move up to a totally different key. Another factor here is he likes to be very spread out. So he'll have some kind of low bass going on, usually without a strong attack. Like that, I'm just holding an A with my pedal. And then he'll add some of those rich chords on top. Notice I'm going to start moving my left hand quite a bit up and down this mod wheel to give it some life. Moving around the same chord, just different modal areas. That's the gist of what we can do with these richer chords. But the other layer that's going on here is I'm actually using some bitonality as well. So you'll notice in the right hand, I was using those thicker 2 chords, 7 chords, 9 chords, which already add that harmonic interest. But another thing is with the left hand, I'm actually doing octaves that are totally different from the key of the right hand chord. So in this example, if I'm doing a right hand C2 chord, C, D, G, then maybe the left hand, instead of being a diatonic, meaning scalar, right? It's not a C scale. I might use like an A flat or something weird in the left hand. Then we might move it, the entire shape, to like an E flat 2 chord over F. Like a C2 over D flat. You gotta get the feeling here that we're taking 2 chords that shouldn't really be together. That's what creates this cool atmosphere. And then of course with the effects, that has the impact that we're looking for, and it never really resolves. It never takes our ears back home to a tonic. So that's why I find this music to be so evocative and so interesting, and it's so cool. And a lot of his music does this. Even in his film music, if he's using a live orchestra with actual instruments, he still does this with the chord choices. I think it's so cool. So let's just kind of play around for a minute. I'm going to write a quick track for what I would consider to be maybe a Disasterpeace style track. Let's have some fun. I'll even try using some pitch bending here to give you extra effects. So here we go. There you have it, guys. That's how I would tackle writing in the style of Disasterpeace, using a really creative blend of chord tonal colors with the composition itself, but mixing that with a lot of chorus, a lot of delay, a lot of reverb, and fading in and out with pitch bends, with mod wheel changes of the frequencies, and just the amounts of these different plugins. That's really what creates this really cool atmospheric ambient sound. So go out and try it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. Help us get to 50,000 subscribers this year in 2018. I know we can do it. Also, let us know in the comments what games, what styles of writing, what composers you are most interested in exploring as we continue these videos within every Monday Studio Composing, where I help teach you guys different techniques that other composers use, different techniques that I use to help create the best possible music and to elevate your stories. See you guys next week.